Hello, friends. This is Three Friends Talk. I'm Dr. Courtney.
I'm Dr. Leah.
This is Dr. Sylvia.
And we are
Three Friends Talk.
All right, here we go. It's Wednesday night. But first, church, house, in house.
Oh.
Schoolhouse, outhouse.
All right.
On highway number 19, people keep the city clean. They call it Nut Bush.
Okay,
See
Anna Mae.
y'all.
Go Nut Bush.
Nut Bush
That's all I know.
City Limit. Nut Bush City. All right. So let me just share. Before I get started again, I had a whole little medley, but there was a request to definitely start with Nutbush. But this is to pay our respects and our condolences to the family of the one and only Tina Turner, Anna Mae Bullock, the legend, the icon. We just heard today that she passed, and it was really, really hard to hear. So I'm Dr. Courtney.
I'm Dr. Sylvia.
And I'm Dr. Leah. And we are Three Friends Talk. Here
So
for
it's
another
Wednesday night.
episode.
Another episode. And
Join us every Wednesday night. Every other Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, so make sure that you are listening not only to us on every other Wednesday, but that you're tuning in for our podcast episodes. And we also are live on YouTube, not only just Facebook. So please share. And if you haven't already, leave us a 5-star review. Hi, friends. Say hello in the comments. Let us know where you are checking in from tonight. Facebook land, YouTube land. We got a great show tonight. How are you ladies doing? Is everybody winding down with the school year? Summer plans? What's going on?
I am wound up. I am in the thick of it and still going.
Okay.
Not the thick of it.
I am
Thick
in
of
the
it.
thick of it.
Uh-oh.
Oops.
Before we get off, y'all, what is one of y'all's favorite Tina songs or fondest memories? That she is an icon.
The Thunderdome.
Oh, okay. You talking about the movie?
But yeah, I mean, she was the queen of the underworld in there. She was beautiful.
What's the name of that movie?
Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Mad Max. So I couldn't tell you now. It was so long ago in the 80s, but I remember this like underworld. It was like desert, but everybody was like in metal and stuff. I can't describe it, or I don't even remember what the whole point of the movie was. I have to go back, but I know Tina Turner was the queen of like this entire army or this group of people, and she just, that was just a powerful figure for me. But the way they had her dressed, it was her big hair, just we weren't portrayed on TV like that, so I know that that was a memorable moment for me. And already my mom and my grandmother were already fans of Tina Turner, so all I knew at the time was what's love got to do with it, right? But then when I saw her in Mad Max, I'm like, it's the same lady my mama like, and so but I became a fan for sure. I did sneak off and read the book I was telling you guys before. In middle school, my aunt had Tina, and I remember I was going through. I would
had no business reading it.
Yes, I did not. I would go through all of my aunt's stuff, but I remember flipping through the pages and I read a scene that kind of sparked my interest. I didn't have no business reading it, but I went back and read the whole book, and I think I was a little traumatized. But I was like, "Who is this lady?"
I'm sure.
Yeah. But when the movie came out later on, I was just like, Mom, I got to see it. And so everybody knows the movie where the infamous movie where Angela Bassett played Tina Turner and What's Love Got to Do with It. And I think that I was forever changed. I don't know about you all, between the book and the movie, just to know what this woman endured to still be the icon that she was and was till today. So
Yeah, I remember it's not funny, but I remember when the movie came out and my grandmother went to go see it in the movie theater. And I guess she had the wrong idea of what the movie was about. I think she thought it was like a musical. And I remember she came home and she was just like, that movie was horrible. And I was like, what happened? She was like, Mike was just, it was just bad. I was, of course, as a child, I didn't really know the whole backstory.
right.
A couple probably years later, I watched it and I was like, oh, this is why Big Mom was so traumatized by this movie.
I'm not gonna lie, there was the one scene.
Thinking one thing and then you get something totally different. Oh, like poor thing.
When she fell off the couch.
No, the one scene that my mom closed my eyes on was when, he had moved all the records and propped up and pretty much
that was horrible. Oh my
on
God.
the counter.
There were a lot of traumatic moments.
My mom was like, oh, wait, like she kind of realized what was about to happen.
That was a lot.
And she didn't want me to see that. And yeah. Sylvia, what about you?
She was just a big presence in our home in general. Like every time she was on a TV special, I feel like Tina Turner brought families together before like Dancing with the Stars. Like everybody in the house was watching glued to the TV. And then when Dance with the Stars came on, it was kind of the same phenomenon. Like it was family viewing, at least in the Perry household.
Oh, okay.
And
I mean, she was everything. I mean, I would say she was like the singing plus the dancing. The beautiful legs all through her. She was known for
legs,
her legs,
baby.
Look,
those legs, honey.
Yeah, somebody
she did her own hair. That always stuck out to me. How she did her own, cut her own wigs, and did her own hair because nobody else could do it like her.
Somebody made a comparison today, and they were like, Beyonce is Tina 2.0. I never thought about it like that.
Tina is Tina. Beyonce's Beyonce.
I think that I wouldn't compare them that
that was
way.
A weird comparison.
What I agree with,
I get being singer and entertainer, I guess is what they were saying. But it's kind of like she's just in her own realm. Then let's
I'd probably say it a little bit differently. I would be like, Beyonce to us today is probably what Tina was to them, like to my grandmother's generation then. She had the short dresses. She was the entertainer, the dancer.
That's what they were trying
the biggest
to say.
of her time, the queen of rock and roll. So I get that part, but I wouldn't say she was Tina 2.0 or nothing like that.
Yeah, she was broke records, first Black woman inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, first Black woman on the cover of Rolling Stones.
Yes.
Yeah. So unprecedented in so many ways. My personal connection was in the movie when they said Dallas, Texas, and it was when she.
No, they said San Antonio. No, just kidding. Go ahead, Sylvia.
Anyway, the two hotels, the one where she started at, and then she walked to the other hotel. Got ran. Okay. And she was like,
Didn't I ask you to take me there?
Well, we drove by it. Now, anyway, the first hotel she was at was where I had my debutante ball. And I was like, and now it's called the Statler. And then she ran over to
we went there.
The Lorenzo. Yeah, I took you to the Statler.
No, y'all didn't take me.
No, you didn't go.
You got to come back.
Well, I like Dallas. I will come back just to see the two hotels.
Rest in peace, Tina Turner.
They're not like landmarks.
This
is the hotel.
Revitalized.
This is the hotel.
No, nobody wants to remember that.
No, right.
They said that Tina was afraid of or had trauma from Ike throughout the rest of her life. Nobody wants to be remembered by their worst days.
But it could also be a symbol of releasing that as well.
Well, we got the grassy knoll. Well,
I remember when I said we got San Antonio. I'm just saying, when you said Dallas, Texas, that was the part.
We ain't talking about Ike today.
I want to say the San Antonio part of the movie.
So inappropriate books. You read I, Tina. I can only imagine. Books to me,
They're more graphic.
Oh my gosh. They take you on a journey. So the
Yeah.
inappropriate book that I read came out in 1990. So I was 10 years old. And it was a big story here. There was a lady named Joyce Ann Brown who was arrested at Coslow Spurs for stealing. And it was wrong. She was not stealing. And so she served time in jail. And this book was, what was it called? I looked it up. It was called
It was her life story while in jail or something.
just everything. Joyce Ann Brown, Justice Denied. And it had some very graphic depictions of things that happened that I did not need to be reading when I was 10 years
When
old.
she was locked up or before, like,
She was locked up.
oh Lord.
Yeah. But my
Okay.
neighbor gave it to me and she was younger than me. So I was like, okay. But we shouldn't have been.
So you were traumatized and did what after?
I didn't know what to. I mean, it just was. It growed me up a little bit. So I was like, what is going on? But I didn't do anything with the information. What did you do after you watched Tina?
I asked my aunt about it. I said, "Is this real?" I said, "Is this real?"
No, I knew not to tell my parents I read that. They knew I was reading it, but
Well,
they
see,
hadn't
I
read it.
had the cool aunt. You know what I'm saying? Like if
You
I
had
read
read it, but she
something I
let
wasn't
you
supposed
read
to
it?
read, she would talk to me about it, but she's not gonna like go and tell my mom I did something bad. She told my mom like I let Courtney read it and we talked about it.
My
you know?
parents didn't know what was in the book. If they had known, my mama would have taken that book.
Gotcha.
Did you read any inappropriate books growing up, Dr. Lou?
I was reading the Berenstain Bears and the
Be
Babysitters
quiet,
Club,
Leah.
the Babysitters Club, and
I read gymnastics. That was my series.
I
I read Fear Street. I was reading Fear
reading
Street.
Fear Street. That was
Mhm.
probably the
I
wildest
give her no more
book that I
grief.
read.
Fear Street?
book.
Fear Street was like Babysitter's Club 2.0.
I
Yeah.
used to love Fear Street. That
Fear
was
Street
cool
was
series.
bomb.
I didn't watch. I didn't read that.
It was
Fear
good.
Street had all the little like teenage love plus violence.
And
Like,
Oh,
then
speaking of teenage books, are y'all gonna or did it come out yet?
Little Mermaid.
Dear God, it's me, Margaret.
Oh,
Did it come
sorry.
out
there's
yet?
a movie coming out.
Yeah, I think it's out.
Oh, I didn't know. I
No.
haven't
I
heard about
love that
I'll
book.
be at
It was so
the
good.
premiere of Little Mermaid tomorrow. Jack and Jill. I did get tickets. I won tickets from my chapter here in Georgia, the Lake Spivey chapter. So I will be going to see the Little Mermaid tomorrow with my family. Very
Yay.
excited to support Haley.
Okay, before we move on, did y'all know they were remaking The Color Purple?
Yes, Christmas
It is.
Day.
It is not a remake of The Color Purple.
It's like
It's the
a
play
version of it.
It is the adaptation of the play. So
Oh,
it's
okay, I
not
can-
the movie.
Okay, but didn't they? Oh, I guess because I saw it on Broadway twice. So,
I saw Fantasia perform it on Broadway, and now Oprah has made that
I
version
saw
into
it.
the movie.
I saw it on Broadway and I saw it in Memphis without Fantasia, and both of them were great.
Now, look, I took my mama to see The Color Purple on Broadway, and she was not expecting it to be different from the movie.
She didn't like
that's
it.
one book I read.
She was
too when I
like,
was young.
"That didn't happen." I said,
In
"Mom,
the
it
book, it
happened in
did.
the book."
It's totally different. The book is totally different. Now I did. You're right. I read The Color
Definitely.
Purple, and it's very graphic.
Very graphic. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
It's
There's
it's probably not in curriculums anymore.
I know it's part of the banned books now.
I'm sure.
but I am excited to see it. Haley is in this one again. I don't know the other young lady. Her name is Felicia, right? Who plays young Celie, but Fantasia is grown Celie. Taraji P. Henson is in it, but Oprah did put out the announcement that she's given us 6 months for everyone to get their purple attire ready because she wants everybody in purple to go see it on Christmas Day. So I was like, okay, I'm down. I think that's gonna be great.
Okay.
What, Sylvia? No purple for you?
I like purple. Purple is part of my brand colors.
It's about going to support the movie in
I'm
purple.
gonna go in purple.
Okay.
So before we move on, I do want to thank you two for joining me in celebrating our super friend Jalen on his graduation from high school. Thank you for traveling to Memphis to attend his surprise graduation party.
Wouldn't have missed it in the world.
And you guys really made his day. He was not expecting to see so many people from out of town, people who he hadn't seen in years, and he had a ball. He saw old classmates, he saw old friends' parents, he saw everybody. He was just like, what?
Oh, he had the biggest smile ever. He teared up a couple of times.
He
It was
did tear
overwhelming
up.
for him.
But
Your dad,
did y'all
your dad
see
had
him?
the lifetime clips. It
Did
was
y'all
great.
see him when he came in the room? Because y'all know he was getting annoyed because I was like, oh my gosh, this is where we had the podcast. Look, it's a party in there. Let's see what's going on. He's looking at me like, what is wrong with you? Why are you going to these folks' party?
Uh-huh.
Y'all all like, surprise. He was like, huh?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
still don't think it hit it.
he
It
stalled for
hit
a
him.
minute.
It hit him when he saw his sister
Yeah.
because she didn't make it to the graduation. And when he saw her in the corner, I think he was like, oh, wait, this is
Yeah.
for me. So
Yeah.
I was
It
excited.
was awesome. Kudos to Mom. You did an outstanding job. Like Courtney said, we wouldn't miss it for the world. We're going to be uploading a special clip from his party and a few special shout outs to his amazing mama. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
girl.
I enjoyed everything. In fact, our guest tonight is someone that I consider family. Um, he was also at the celebration and he has been at many celebrations, and we have grown up, basically have grown up together. So are you guys ready to
I'm excited.
learn about our guest tonight?
I am.
Yes. So he's a native Memphian. And as I said, we kind of grew up together. We've known each other for a very long time.
He's hilarious.
He is hilarious. We have kind of some similar background, and then as we grew up, we went our own separate ways. So he actually went a different way in pharmacy. He is a certified pharmacy technician, and he did have a love, for pharmacy and science. And that love kind of went a whole different way. So now he is this big, wonderful educator. He is a principal. He's been in the field of education and teaching for 20 plus years. And we are so happy to have him on the show tonight. Let's welcome to Three Friends Talk, Dr. Brian R. Davis.
Woo!
Hi, Dr. Brian.
Good
Welcome.
evening, ladies. Good evening, Dr. Leah, Dr. Sylvia. Thank you for
Where's Dr. Sylvia? Because Three Friends Talk is on. I don't know.
Oh, whoops.
I
I did not do my homework. My bad.
have been meaning to ask, why do you have Three Friends Talk?
I logged in the wrong account. My bad. You still at the JOB, Dr. Brian?
I am still in the office. This is probably the most peaceful place,
Okay.
when
Nothing
I
wrong with that.
when I am alone in the office working, and I'm trying to wrap up the school year. I have my evaluation with my superintendent Friday, and trying to close out with our TCAP or our state testing. We've been doing that. Some students who had to retake the test and whatnot, and trying to communicate with parents and just trying to close out the school year and plan for summer school and plan for the next year. So I said, let me just hang out in the office until the podcast begins. And
And then you found time for us.
Thank you, sir.
yeah,
We appreciate you.
I always gonna find time for my friends.
Brian stays ready.
Friends.
And Three Friends Talk. I'm always gonna
That's
find
right.
time for them.
Day one listener. Dr. Brian, both my father started his early career as a woodshop teacher in junior high, and my mom was in education for over 30 years and was a principal. And I want to know, I feel like it's a calling. I did not get the call, but what motivated you to choose teaching as a career?
As Dr. Lee said, Dr. Lee and I have known each other since we were like 16, 17, and we started working together at Just for Feet in Cordova, Barley area.
What year was this?
It was what, like
1997.
Yeah, it was senior year.
Yeah, senior year, huh? 97. And our original goal when we sat down, we were gonna go to school, go to pharmacy school. We were gonna be be part of the same first family with our Black Creek Lake organization. So we had planned out our
I
entire
see.
Oh, I see.
We really did.
and lo and behold, I went to the University of Tennessee Chattanooga, had a good time. I was on the 5-year student plan.
It's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it all whatsoever because you had to find yourself. And so had a good time. I was coming from high school to college, I was not ready to study or buckle down and study like I probably should have when it came to my classes in undergraduate. And so I ended up graduating with a BC average. And I was like, okay, let me try to go to pharmacy school. I got waitlisted for Xavier. I got waitlisted for Xavier years ago. So my phone is ringing. And
I'm about to say, did somebody telling me he said it wrong?
It still hurts, huh?
Yeah, I got waitlisted for Xavier. In spring of 2021, I was getting ready to go to Hawaii that summer for 21 to turn 21 with my parents. So that's how I can remember. So I got waitlisted for that.
When you were turning 21.
Is when I got turned.
I said 2021. I was like, no.
When I was turning 21, got waitlisted because a young lady that ended up in that class. She's like, "Come on, Brian, go to summer school. We take chemistry 1." I was like, "I'm going to Hawaii, chemistry." I'm never going to Hawayi.
I didn't know it was a toss-up between summer school and Hawaii.
Well, I was on the alternate list, so like it wasn't a guarantee I was going to get into pharmacy school.
I'm going to Hawaii.
Yeah, so I'm going to Hawaii. I didn't have to pay for it, so Hawaii. And so, like I said, graduated in May of 2003. So I got home, and luckily I had already kind of been working in a pharmacy, worked for Rite Aid Pharmacy as a pharmacy technician after my freshman year. My godbrother, who is also a good friend of Three Friends Talk, Dr. Charles Parker, got me on with Rite Aid. So that's how I got my introduction into working in the pharmacy. And so from there, until I graduated in 2003, I was working full time for Rite Aid. And then my dad woke me up one morning. He was like, "You need to get up into your career." He was like, "You're not gonna like that." Because he's like, "Get up in your career."
Daddy.
So I said, "Let me go into the family business of education."
Not family business.
So my dad was an educator. My godmother, Dr. Charles Parker's mother, was an educator. I had a cousin who was an educator. So and the people that my parents associated with, they were educators. So it was a family business. So I went down to the University of Memphis, applied for graduate school, decided to go get my teacher certification because I have a degree in biology, and the rest is history. So I was in the classroom teaching biology for about 12 years, and then I transitioned into administration on the middle school level. Did 1 year as assistant principal middle school. Then I did 2 years as a high school assistant principal / the director or principal of the alternative school, and then ended up having to be demoted back to the classroom and taught physical science for a year and a half. That was during COVID, so that was pretty interesting. Onto the COVID phase, and then in January 2021, became assistant principal of the current school I'm at now, and then in May of 2021 became principal. So just right at year 2 as principal.
Look at you. Well, I know we started off with a question, but that's not the way Three Friends Talk does it. I'm still going to get my game in. So Sylvia
was ready.
was ready to dive into the questions. But I'm about to play this game with you. You are not off the hook, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So this game is called This or That. And Dr. Leah is usually my timekeeper. And I'm going to have her put a couple of seconds on the clock. I'll give you 30 seconds.
Just a couple?
We'll do the regular time. We'll do it. Okay. So whichever answer I give, just give me the first thing that comes to mind. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Leah, you ready? When I say go, and go. iPhone or Droid?
iPhone.
Don't say it like that. Calls or texts?
Text.
Suits or sweats?
Suits.
Sports car or SUV?
It should be right now.
Okay. Early bird or you're a night owl?
Night owl.
Introvert or extrovert?
A little bit of both. Depends on the day.
Uh-uh.
Okay,
Pick one.
extrovert. Extrovert, right? Okay, extrovert.
Staycation or vacation?
Vacation. Beach.
Hawaii. Rich friend or loyal friend?
The loyal friend.
Love or money?
Love.
Hesitating. Coffee, wine, or Hennessy?
See?
Uh-uh.
Coffee. I'm a principal. Coffee.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know who watched a coffee.
I thought I was about to get
The boss will be watching
you.
coffee.
Okay.
Look,
Well, you hesitated on one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
What about
Coffee.
my teachers?
Love or
What my
money?
teachers watching,
Water.
Water. Water.
We all got
Right.
water. We minding our business and drinking our water.
There you go. Cheers.
All right. I'm gonna pass it to Dr. Leah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm so silly. I didn't mean to make all those faces as you.
Who is Angela hating on the iPhone?
He said the beach. I said that's why he went to Hawaii that summer. I should have known.
I was just making faces because I know my friend and he's really trying to be on the straight and narrow tonight.
I don't know who watching. People be like,
Oh my gosh. Well, I know you already talked about we shared, a similar interest in pharmacy initially. And we talked about you going to pharmacy school. What did prompt you to be the certified, we'll go the route of being a technician first? Was that just to get you experience or what?
Exactly. The way I remember how the conversation went, I think my parents went over to the Parker's house one evening, and Chucky, as I call him, said to my parents, "Oh, you think Brian want to work in the pharmacy? Because Brian wants to go into pharmacy as a career." And so, yes, and that kind of went along. So that I think it was summer '99. Started working for Rite Aid under Dr. Charles Parker, and so with that time, or as being a technician, just kind of developed that love for relationships with people, learning about medicine, learn how medicine works and what to take and what not to take, especially with my father having some health issues because he was a diabetic and a cancer survivor at the time. Ended up dying of leukemia a couple years ago. So it just kind of made sense to kind of have a footing just in case there's something needs to take place with health.
Right. Yeah. I get that. And and then it kind of even still led to you once you got into the realm of education. You said you taught science for 12 years.
Yes, I taught high school biology for 12 years. And I even taught at one of the career colleges. I taught pharmacy technician classes at a career college for about a year.
I don't remember that.
I know. It was like a little blurb in time.
Oh my goodness, you've done too much. Yeah, we'll talk about the difference between high school and elementary in a minute.
Oh Lord, that's going way down memory lane.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe you taught for 12 years, Brian.
Oh, well,
Are we that old?
No, we are not.
We're not.
So, well, when did you decide to pursue your master's and your doctorate degrees? Did you work in the field for so long and go back to school, or how did that work out?
So I started teaching in 2005. I went back to graduate school in 2004, and that was to pursue my master's degree and to get certified to teach science. So at University of Memphis, it was kind of like a dual program where you could do your certification and take 1 or 2 more classes to attain a master's. So I was like, well, you make more money with your master's versus not having just having your bachelor's. So I said, okay, let me go ahead and do the master's route.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember graduating in 2017, I believe it was. And I was told my father, okay, I'm gonna go back to school, and 2007, excuse me, 2007 with my manager, say I'm gonna go back to school and get my doctoral degree. I just felt like if you're gonna go to school, might as well finish all the way, go all the way through. And so in 2010, I enrolled in the education specialist program at Union University, and that program was like a 2-degree bridge program into the doctoral program. So my doctoral degree and education special degree is in administration and supervision, pre-K through 12.
Okay.
All of it. Oh, okay.
Is that
So it's
BD
that-
or PhD or
Is it ED?
ED. It's so many different, I guess, routes you can take with the dual degree programs, number one, and then certification, doctorate. It's a lot. I'm just trying to grasp all these different ways that you can go about following that type of dream if you have it.
And it was interesting because I worked full time, and worked full time both jobs, because I was pretty much at work during the week. I would teach. We have tutoring, or what do we call it? Yeah, tutoring after school, and then I would leave my school district, then drive all the way down to Midtown Memphis and work. Go home, be home about 10:30, 11 o'clock, go to sleep, and get up and teaching. During high school, school started technically at 7, so you had to be at off or on campus by at least 6:45, 6:50. So
class
Yeah,
started at 7
virtual at the
a.m.?
time.
yes,
Yeah,
So
our high school start very early.
Why? I'm like, oof.
Y'all get out early then, right? If you start early, get out early.
Yeah,
Get out at
2:30.
I'm about to say 2:15, 2:30, but that's
Yeah.
just I mean, like the kids are out when it's still dark outside waiting on the bus.
So you were
More like an 8.
teaching, and then you would go do pharmacy teching afterwards?
And afternoon,
Full time, both jobs?
full time.
And
Basically,
in school?
You saying he was teaching and going, and he still is a principal and goes and works.
yeah. Even now,
Today,
Yes.
I know
Yes.
you had to leave your party. He's like, I gotta go to the pharmacy.
I got to the
Ye-
pharmacy.
yes, Annette, he can't be still, Annette. You are correct.
so let me ask you this. I'm gonna go off the record real quick. How do you turn it off and on? You're in a leadership position, right? At in your day job, being a principal. How do you turn it off to then be a technician where you have to then receive direction from your superior? Is that an easy transition for you?
It is. It's all about it's all about respect. First and foremost, it's about respect and knowing your purpose. And no matter what your role is, you have to be able to communicate as effectively as possible and respect each other and know that we're all part of the same team to get the job done.
Sure. In theory, it sounds great, but some people have a problem turning it on and off.
Yeah, and it's true. They do. And
Once you get into a leadership role, it's like I'm not taking orders from nobody.
And it kind of goes into a situation where like you have to, it just proper training, proper communication. I can think back and sometimes at my retail job, where like I had to, because I was a senior technician, just kind of help guide some of my coworkers, especially the young ones who are like, I'm gonna do it this way, or no one's gonna tell me what to do, or who are you? You come in when you want to come in and leave when you want to leave.
So you were still able to be a leader within your own, within your peers to get them on the right track.
I try to be, but I just had to like let that battle go, because sometimes I let that battle go.
Okay, I would say you were a leader amongst your peers.
I just try to do the best I can while I'm working retail.
No, that's amazing. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna pass it to Dr. Sylvia.
So what skills are necessary and have aided you in your transition into leadership as a principal? So kind of the opposite of Dr. Courtney's question. What has translated from you being a pharmacy technician that you're using in the educational world?
Well, I think it comes up with practice and knowing both ends of the spectrum of being as a principal. You got to know what it's like to be a teacher, yet at the same time to be in leadership and understand that there are expectations of you. You had to be present, had to be accountable. Also knowledgeable of what's going on. Even in when I go into classrooms do observations or just to see what's going on. There might be a math lesson that's taught one way, how I remember being taught, but now with our new curriculum, it's being taught a different way. And sometimes my coworkers and I, we would have those conversations about how to teach it or showing students various ways. I can remember going to the teacher's room and they were doing comparing fractions. And so she was showing them one technique, how the book was showing. And I was like, "Don't you do the cross multiplier?" I was like, "Yeah." So we just do different techniques, whatever. So it is trying to remember. It's called humility and being humble and being as expendable as possible to your colleagues because everyone's gonna go through their good moments, their sad moments, and their in between moments. And you just never take stuff personal.
Don't take it personal.
That's the lesson you learn at the counter. Do not take it personal, honey, because don't bring it home with you. These people
will try to tear you down if you absorb that energy.
Yeah, and they're sick, so you can't take it personal too. So you can see anything at that counter, and I think in school these kids can do and say anything, and I just don't know how people educators keep a straight face all the time because some of the stuff these children do is hilarious, but you can't know that you think that it's funny or they're funny.
But Dr. Courtney made a good point. You cannot have that same energy. And my data clerk, she says all the time, you cannot match energy.
Yeah.
And so that's been my lesson this school year.
Really?
even at walk at the pharmacy, it's like do not match energy. When people get upset, do not match it with them. And sometimes it's tough.
Yeah,
it is tough. Yeah.
And see, I was about to say, since I turned 40, my new whole thing is I'm matching everybody energy. Whatever energy you give me, I'm giving you. So I'm glad I work from home. That's all I'm gonna say.
Exactly. And I had a situation where I kind of did match energy.
Where was
this setting?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So at the school setting, I did match energy. I had to and call the parent back the next day and apologize for matching energy.
Oh, good.
And realize that
that's growth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I get it.
Yeah. And sometimes you want, and I didn't realize parents, because I don't have any biological children, but parents are going to be in parent mode no matter what happens, good, better, and different. And even though you may try to have the best intentions, sometimes you just have to let them be. Now, on the retail side, years ago, somebody got smart with me.
Oh, goodness.
And in some ways, I'm having peanuts got thrown into the pharmacy. Let me say they had it.
Wait, what?
Peanuts?
Cans of peanuts, like
peanuts.
Like the planters.
Oh, Sylvia, that is terrible.
So lady got really mad because I matched her energy and she threw.
Did you throw them back?
No, I didn't throw them back.
What did y'all ban her from the store?
She not real cool now. We on first name basis.
Oh, y'all best friends now. Y'all done thrown the peanuts.
I would have to be first name basis outside my store.
I would say this, and anyone who don't eat a job would say, people would be mad at me, but the next time they see me, we would laugh it off and pretend like we become the best friends.
I can see that. Yeah.
My technicians are like that.
That's a solid. The press charges on her.
But I'm like, no. They're like, Sylvia, it's not that big a deal. That's why I didn't tell you why she was here. And I was like, no, they can't talk to you like that. Oh, Sylvia.
Put the peanuts in the chat, please.
You would not come back in my pharmacy. You
would be banned. I would be pressing charges for assault.
Damn, I have an allergy to peanut.
Planters. You would be me and Planters.
My gosh.
It would have been a problem.
But you know what the funny about it is? That person is also in the education system. Also, that person is.
Had a bad day.
Although, that person works in education also.
Oh, thing.
So shouldn't the peanut lady?
She apologized.
You say they best friends now?
Did she apologize?
Cool now.
And the store where
she know better.
If you're familiar with Memphis, the store where Brian works, I guess most of the time. Do you float in it? Or are you always at that store?
I'm at that store mostly.
Yeah, that area is, I mean, you will encounter everything. It's the younger generation, the older generation, probably like a lot of the people coming from um the medical district, a lot of mental health. You could see anybody at that location, if you know what I mean. You know, like you
Mhm.
get a taste of everything.
Wow.
So I always applaud him for working at
All
that
demographics.
at that location. Yes,
All demographics.
yes, indeed.
Yes,
Those are
indeed.
often the fun stores too, though.
Oh my, I can't do it. So you kind of alluded to a little bit, you know, just your transition. I think you said, yeah, because you would have been starting as a principal during the pandemic.
Yeah, so I would. So my
21.
first year as principal, we start going back into the school full time.
Okay.
So when I became assistant principal, we were seeing students. We would see certain students 2 or 3 times a week,
Hmm.
and then fall of 21, we came back full time.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about that transition. You're transitioning from one role as an assistant principal to principal. You're bringing students back into the school. What positive and negative um effects have you seen, and what is still going on now? Like,
Oh,
how do you see your students today versus 2 years ago?
today, in terms of like getting along, students still get along no matter what. Students are going to be students. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. You'll have kids. One day they're friends, one day they're not friends, but it's a great relationship with kids. Parents are very protective. We still have students who still come to school wear masks um, all day, every day, and you're like, okay, we're I guess our society has now got to a place where we don't wear the mask as much, but we still have kids who wear masks. You still have parents who are very protective, just making sure that their children are not spreading germs or yeah, make sure that children are not spreading germs. And then you just look at one thing I noticed too. You have some children who are they were used to having the iPad or the tablet in front of them.
Hmm.
And so there's still some difficulty in that socialization aspect, or they're very attached to their parents. So it's hard to get them to break away
Yeah.
from parents, or are not in, or some parents do not know how to deal with their children when their children may have certain needs that
Mm.
are beyond the scope of the regular traditional school setting. Um, and so that's kind of been the challenge this year,
Yeah.
is trying to find that balance between providing adequate instruction, strong instruction, and parents understand that, hey, there may be some underlying issues, whether it's socialization, whether it's like exposure to different things, um, and then also just trying to find a balance of like how safe are you to like be at school, and do you still need to wear your mask or not wear your mask, because germs are still going around. We get hit with the flu. Our terms of like student attendance, our hardest time of the year was flu season. So
Hmm.
everybody had the flu, and then these last 2 weeks of school, we had a stomach bug going around.
Oh my
So
God,
Mm.
that stomach bug is crazy.
yeah.
Wow.
They had pink eye at my baby school. Everybody eyes shut.
So it was several students, Courtney,
Oh
Dr.
yeah,
Courtney.
yes.
Oh wow.
I was like, what is going
How are they
on?
walking around, Dr. Quinny? How are they walking around?
Don't make her do that again. What Dr. Brown was saying, like even in Jalen's school, and I know it's a different setting than elementary, but they had to go through the whole, like you said, the phone thing, the watches and everything. So at his school, they enacted the Yonder pouches. Have you heard of those?
No, what's that?
Um,
Oh,
They
So
lock
that's
them up like the
that's
cousin.
the right. So basically, when they get to school, they have to lock their phone up. They have to turn their watches off, and they cannot turn their phone back on or unlock it until the end of the day. And I think they did the whole this whole year, and they actually sent home, the statistics of, you know, I guess however they do
The
it, but they
advantages or disadvantages of it.
showing the attention span, the difference of them paying attention more in class, the different aspects, behavioral aspects and everything. So they do
Was it
want
a
to
good outcome?
they're going to keep them. They're going to have them back next year. And of course, kids have found ways to damage them, open them up, try and get in them, and of course, that's just kids being kids or whatever. But it's just amazing, like you said, to see having going through a whole year being at home or hybrid or however they were transitioning back into the school system, um emotionally, and just like you said, socially, it's a lot to deal with. It was a lot to see with the high school students, so I can imagine even the younger kids and having to deal with that, and then you're going into your role trying to figure your way through it as well. So I commend you for being in that role, especially during this time in our
No,
lives, and then still figuring it out pretty much.
yeah. So, Dr. Lee, with Jalen School, because I've seen this. So the kid turn in one phone. I'm sure that the child have a backup phone.
Oh, they've tried that. Yeah, they of course. Yeah, so they got the what you call it. They might have a little flip
Yeah,
phone or
the
something in
phone.
the background. Yeah.
So let me ask you how
The
bad it
comments are on
just
fire,
I don't
y'all.
is it like on TV? Because my child is only 10. We're not doing no phones yet or whatever, and neither are they doing it in class, elementary school. But if they're in high school, they're really like just on their phones during class like that. There was no Leah. There
Like
was
how
no
we
other rule before this pouch where they would tell them not to have their phones, but they would have it out anyway.
You saying where there are a lot of students that were still having it out?
Yeah, like in class, they would just have their phones out before the pouches were.
Oh yeah, of course, because
But so they would tell them not to have their phones out, but they would just be in class on their
it
phones.
would be some teachers, I'm sure, that would say, "Hey, you can put your phone in this basket or whatever." And some people would say, "No, you can have," because he was in classes, like especially like honors classes. They tell them you can have your phone, and you take pictures or notes and this type of thing and that and the other. But of course, they're doing other things. They're on
They
social
on TikTok
media,
and everything else.
right? They're doing everything. So, like I said, you've been at home a whole year. I've been doing my work, but I'm still playing. You know what I mean? I can do what I want to do, and now I got to get back in the setting and try and act like I'm paying attention.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a hard transition. It was to go from kind of being free almost to straight back to normal. What
Yeah,
was normal?
well, the traditional, right?
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
Dee says, sign me up for an interview. The social emotional state of our students is unbelievable. Teachers are whipped and quitting like crazy. Parents and students have given up. Dee, are you in the Tennessee area? I don't
that's
know
really it's everywhere.
where she is. Yeah, I was
It's
just
really
wondering.
that
Keep
Gwinnett.
going. You got some more
Ang-
good comments though.
Angel said we definitely
The
need that. Talking
pouches.
about the
She put
yonder
that up
pouches.
on the
Yeah,
pouches. Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah. They like I said, it was. I know they're costly. And it was almost like I said, it was kind of an experiment to see how it was going to go. But they got a lot of positive feedback from it. Of course, they were doing surveys with the parents, surveys with the kids. Of course, the kids at first were like, "We hate it" or whatever. They still
Sure.
pretty much say we hate it. But I think some of them were like, "No, this is giving me a chance to focus. I feel a little bit better." Getting back into this whole going back to school thing. So it was kind of back and forth. Okay, she says
Oh, that's
in
Georgia,
Gwinnett
Gwinnett County.
County, there's over
Yeah, that's
700
bad.
teachers positions open.
Ooh.
I'm wondering if custodians will be teaching next year. It's year 20 of teaching, and I've never seen
That's
such.
outside of
In
Atlanta.
Wow.
Texas, it was one district, they didn't have somebody to teach science or health. So they just weren't going to offer it that year, this past
Oh my goodness.
yeah, like it's crazy. So a question for you, Principal Davis. I know that y'all have wrapped around the children, and are the children still behind? That's the first question. The second question is, how are you there for your staff? Because it's unprecedented.
Children are. We just did our third grade test here in the state of Tennessee. and we did not do well as a school. I'm disappointed. I'm humbled, frustrated, and it's not that it's a lack of trying. We did retest yesterday, and we did see some gains with some students who tested below expectations moved up to approaching. So we know that there's things to be done, gains to be made. I think it goes back into just having those serious conversations and teachers not giving up and realizing, and I said this the other day, are you talking or are you teaching?
Mhm.
And I say that because sometimes we get so fixated on what we have to assist us. Even working at the retail level, we have a machine that counts pills for us. So if you get so caught up in having that pill counter, you may not realize that you may have a coworker who, and I've seen this before, put in the wrong pill in the sale, and you get two different NDCs or two different pills that don't match that might come out. Uh, your pill counter might be off or over counting. So especially if you have a controlled substance that's inside that cell, and even like so in the classroom setting, sometimes we get so caught up in using the curriculum manipulatives or the things that the curriculum provides that we don't go back and doing that direct teaching. That teaching where you
Mhm.
walk around the classroom, you at the board guiding instruction, and you too much relying on the electronics that comes around. Because I mean, it's electronic generation, yes. But as I told my coworkers, I said for 7, 8 years, all I had in my classroom was chalk and
Mm.
a real chalkboard and chalk. And it was like maybe 5, 6 years in teaching, I finally got a whiteboard and got to use
Right.
expo markers. But I was a level 5 teacher. I mean, because you just had to work hard. And it goes back to having a passion also. If you don't have a
Mhm.
passion for teaching and making sure that your students are learning, then what service are you doing?
You're not in it for the right reason. Yeah.
Well, I I
No.
think a lot of people have a passion, but you know, my mom went from a blue ribbon school to her students, were not testing well, and you're trying to do what you can. So I feel like in many ways it can be thankless and hard, and it's hard to reach everybody. And then a pandemic, and then all these tests. Like, so how do you keep your staff encouraged and motivated and
I
that?
always one thing I tell my staff, I always tell them thank you first and foremost, and to let them know how much I appreciate them, because they in the trenches. So I know it's like to be in the trenches and work with those students. It's something that you may not be able to reach, or you may not be able to take them from. They may be on the below level, but if they get closer to that approaching level, hey, we're doing something. But I don't want my teachers to just give up. And one thing we also do, we have a teacher appreciate, or we do a jean pass. So come on, teachers, hey, for $20, you can wear jeans every Friday, and that money that we collect goes into our teacher activity fund. So we may do stuff during Teacher Appreciation Week, or things where because my school, so like every year someone gets pregnant, so we had like 4 or 5 showers. 4 or 5 individuals get pregnant this year, so we had showers. So we use that money to just show love to our colleagues, and then we also make sure.
I'm
Um,
laughing at Annette. She said he yells at us. No, he's great.
I do make sure.
I could see that.
I cannot see him
In
yelling.
love, in love. I can see him
Chains
yelling
off
at
the
us.
doors. Take the chains off the doors.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
there's a little.
Not lean on me.
My inspiration was Joe Davis, who was my father. He was a high school
I was about to
principal.
say, yeah, he's Joe Davis, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit Joe Clark, Osceola, Sonny Hicks. If anybody from the Memphis area that went to Hamilton High School, or that went to school in the district I work in, you know who Sonny Hicks is. Those are inspirations for me.
Mhm.
Uh,
But
Eric
you did
Mays.
think a little bit of Joe Clark. A little
He
bit
said
of Joe
Eric
Clark.
Mays.
You had a bat. You was walking around with a bat.
I never walked around with a bat. I did. I at one time I might have had a paddle in my hand, but that's when I was in the middle school. That was in the middle school on a different superintendent.
Okay.
When we could become a punishment.
Different
I
leadership.
didn't know y'all allowed that anymore, huh?
They used to call me Crazy Joe.
Our coach used to have
Exactly.
Mr. Pepper. That was his paddle.
Well, look, I think you
Hold on,
already
I got
touched on.
comments. I got lots of comments. Let's see what
I
y'all
think you already
saying.
touched on my question, so I'm gonna kind of wrap it up. I wanted to really know, I think both areas that you work in can be stressful, right? Retail can be stressful. The retail pharmacy can be stressful in its own right, and you have another stressful being a leader of this entity, this institute of education. Um, what do
Thank
you
you,
do for
Annette.
your own what do you do for your own self-care? When at what point do you decompress and what do you do for yourself to make sure you're refreshed to be your best self in both situations?
Do not take the work home. I tell my assistant principal this, and I was like, let's go, just close up, let's go. And when you done all you can for the day, you just have to like close up shop. And every day is where I'll leave my laptop, and this is my personal. I work off my personal laptop. I'll leave it here in the building, leave my bag here. I just take my school keys, and I go,
And
and I
you
just
walk out.
and you walk out because I've seen so many retired educators from my dad generation who did not get a chance to enjoy retirement like they should because
Mhm.
they stress themselves out so much and
On it.
their health ended up being their quality of life ended up I guess lowering because they
Yeah.
were stressed out so much.
Mhm.
Um, so like I said, I just try to leave everything home. For self care, I get my hair cut almost every week or every other week. I get a
Okay, self-care. Yeah.
I get a facial with my
He
haircut.
does, y'all. He is
Uh,
strict on that.
Chris,
Get
Chris,
yourself pampered. Yeah.
Chris Watson with Cuts by Chris. That is, I had to give him a plug shout out, and he takes good care, make sure my face is good.
I about to say you a good model too.
Skin glowing.
Keep
Mhm.
going. Also, spend time with friends. Dr. Leah, we get a chance, and Dr. Shauna. I little three friends in Memphis when we get together.
Memphis chapter.
Not the Memphis Chapter.
Exactly. And then just spend time with friends, spend time with my mom. My mom and I we try to hang out and go out to eat as much as possible with my fraternity brothers. I always try to make a convention, whether a district or regional convention, just so you have that getaway and just be around other people. Yeah,
Yeah.
just try to find different. I try to get to the gym when I can. So
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, and that's another concern with two stressful jobs. You get burned out even sooner.
Yeah.
So pace yourself, give yourself grace. I learned that from another show. So
Mhm.
it's like and work with a great team, like because you cannot do everything by yourself. So
that's
you
right.
have to work with a team and learn to find ways to delegate and work together on projects and work together on things and like I say and check in with your coworkers. Check in. I mean, one thing my teacher will tell you, I make a point every morning to go around and speak to the students, speak to the staff, check in and make sure everyone's doing well. Try to make sure I know their well, as much of their outside life as they like for me to know. So I try to follow them and ask them how their families are doing, um, and just be there for them as best I can.
I love it. I
Absolutely.
did see on your social media where somebody got their hair dyed and somebody got their hair cut.
Yeah,
So it looks like your campus is a fun campus, and what is learning if it can't be fun at some time. So I thought that was really cool.
yeah. So last school year when we do our practice state testing, I challenge the students that if they pass, they can cut my hair. And so this year we had the same challenge. I wasn't happy with the test scores, so I said, okay, when we get ready for state testing, we in order to show school success, you had to have at least 98% participation. And so we met that goal. So I said, since we met the goal, you may cut my hair. My assistant principal joined in and allow the kids to spray paint her hair. So I think I grew my hair out for about maybe 8 months.
For a long time. I was
Yeah,
so surprised.
yeah. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this little sponge look. So, but I'm back to my short haircut. I gotta go to the shop soon, but so the kids got a chance to cut my hair. With Chris Watson, because by Chris came out to the school to.
Now that was the funny part because he let the kids, come in and take a little bit off, but then Chris came and like shaped it up real fast. I was like, oh, okay, that's not fair.
I went to Chris. No, trust me, I went to Chris afterwards. Like I literally, we got done with school.
Chris was guiding the students on how to cut his hair.
But I left. I went out in public with patches of hair or plugs and everything. I went to Bahama Breeze and had lunch.
Oh my goodness, you did? Oh, I missed that.
Did. And then I went to see Chris at 6:45 that day.
I love it.
Okay.
Well, Dr. Brian, you're doing amazing work in both realms. Keep up the good work. We know this is not easy work. It's work of passion and heart, and it can get tiring. So thank you for showing up in the way that you do, and also being a great friend to us. You really have been a day one supporter and encouraging us along the way. So we're so happy to get you on the show finally. Yeah. And let us know how we can support you and your students in the future.
Let's see. So my students. Career Day. We had Career Day in March. So so I gotta get Dr. Leah here for Career Day.
We're not invited, Dr. Courtney.
Y'all can come, but
I wasn't listening to him. If Leah going, I'm going.
Y'all out of state.
We'll bring y'all in virtually. We'll bring them in virtually.
Y'all could be part of Career Day because we could do it. Y'all can just talk about how you have a podcast because my kids they love some TikTok and some social media.
And Dr. Courtney can do a challenge with them.
Right.
Yeah. So and then that's one thing. And then we probably end up doing a Mustang Stampede, which is our fundraiser to support our field day. So if you look on social media, we raised over close to $8,000 this year.
Nice.
For that, we were able to buy shirts for every student. We were able to have at least almost 13 inflatable games for students. We were able to feed our students and our teachers hamburgers and hot dogs. So and the students. So we raised enough money to take care of each other. So
nice.
That's
great. To help.
How can our friends connect with you?
Okay, so you can connect with me on Facebook. I think it's Brian R. Davis. My Instagram is BRD0780. I have a Twitter.
Not go find it. Right.
Let's see.
Turned around to that whiteboard. All I thought about was on Twitter how you see when stuff happens that guy with the chart that says something find out. Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see. My Twitter is at BRD702. Yeah, so that was my socials, and through that you may be able to find out about my school some more. But yeah,
okay,
but
definitely,
yes.
We love seeing the updates. We love seeing the kids. Thank you for being such an inspiration in the community, not only in the educational community, in the community pharmacy wise. Through the fraternity. Yeah, that's why I was like, when I was writing
I'm a fraternity incorporated.
That's right. When I was writing the title of this episode, that's why I was just like, I can't just say he's a pharmacy technician. I mean, he is a community servant. That's how I see him.
I'm just Brian. But I'll say it. Now I'll say this real quick before we get off. So I think people like why I become certified. I was content at just being like a regular technician because you always have technician versus certified technician. Mm-hmm. And I was scared of the test because of the math. Someone wasn't that good at math. But someone that I work with passed the test. I was like, if she can pass the test.
Sometimes that be with the motivator.
That's what it be the motivator.
Sometimes that's the motivator.
If she can pass the test.
Oh my goodness!
And that's what happened.
And it wasn't that bad. So you were worried about something, and look at you now.
Look at God.
That's right.
And that is one thing. If you are a technician, please go ahead and follow through and get certified. You know more than you think you do, and it can open so many doors for you. So
And you get paid for it. Exactly.
That too.
my certified technicians, they have that I've worked with. Some of them work from home. I mean, Dr. Courtney has a team of people that works from home. Like,
Yeah. And the thing is, I've now been able to bring in-house an internal program to get our tech ones that we do hire through our training program to get nationally certified. And that's in our enterprise, right?
Mhm.
So, and you know, as a nationally certified technician, you get paid more. So
and can do more. So
Thank you for
you want
bringing
more
that up.
money. You get
Right.
automatic higher pay.
Yeah, great point. Great point, Dr. Brian.
bye, friends.
It's
Well,
been
we
great. Until
we
next
have
time.
enjoyed this show,
See y'all in 2
and
weeks.
yeah, Dr. Brian, we will see you at the next Three Friends Talk event or wherever we do our next bonding.
Exactly. Three Friends Talk Memphis chapter.
There you go.
I love
Bye,
it.
friends.